Dear friends, English Literature, Introduction to Drama, The Lion and the Jewel by Ol Schwenker. Short questions with answers. Short questions 6 to 10. Question 6. Describe in brief the dance of Lost Traveler. Answer. The Dance of the Lost Traveler is a dance drama with episodes of mime and a final communal dance. CD chooses 4 girls to act as the photographer's car, and the girls compel Lekuno to play the part of a drunkard. The 4 girls crouch on the floor like the 4 wheels of a car to signal the arrival of the photographer. Lekuno takes his place in the middle of the girls and directs other spacing. With the soft throbbing of the drums, the 4 girls' wheels begins to move forward, rotating the upper halves of their bodies. When the engine stops working, Lekuno gets out of the car and pinches the girls' bottoms on the pretext of examining the wheels. One of the girls yells in anger and bites him on the ankle. Lekuno then begins his difficult journey through the bush on foot, taking his camera, helmet, and whiskey. When he leans against a tree to take a rest, he sees a snake twisting through the branches of the tree just over his head. Being frightened, he flees. When he restarts his journey, he comes across a monkey that gibbers at him, and he quickly leaves the place. When he tries to snap a picture of city, he falls into a stream. He gets back, trying to wring out of the water from his clothes. Baraka the bell enters the scene with his attendants and makes him a subject of humiliation. Finally, Baraka feels sympathy for him and arranges a feast in his honor. At the party, Lekuno takes a number of photographs of Sidi to be published in the magazine. This mime throws light on the sexuality of Lekuno and jealousy of Baraka. It also provides much farce and laughter. Question 7. What part does Baraka play in the dance of the lost traveler? Answer. When the village girl tells Sidi the news that her photographs have been published in the Lagos magazine, and the photographer has come to Illusionle with copies of the magazine, she is so excited by the news that she asks the girl to dance the dance of the lost traveler. In the mime, Lekuno is forced to play the part of a drunkard. In the bush, when he tries to snap a picture of Sidi, he suddenly falls into a stream. He gets back, trying to wring out of the water from his clothes. Baraka the bell enters the scene with his attendants. All greets him except Lekuno, who tries to go away, but he is forced to stop. Lekuno then bows to show respect for the bell and bids him good morning. Baraka feels insulted as Lekuno tries to go away without greeting him. So he orders his attendants to seize Lekuno on the charge of trying to steal the virginity of the village girls by taking part in the dance with them. The villagers then demand Lekuno's blood. On the bell's orders, they throw him down prostrate. Baraka then feels sympathy for Lekuno's plight. He pacifies the villagers, orders dry cloths for him, and orders to hold a feast in his honor. At the party, Lekuno's attention is fixed on Sidi and takes a number of photographs of her to be published in the magazine. Thus, in the mime, Baraka appears to be a jealous man but gives Lekuno the opportunity of taking photographs of Sidi. Question 8. What picture of African polygamous society do you find in The Lion and the Jewel? Answer. In the play The Lion and the Jewel, Shwenka portrays the African polygamous society. The marrying of multiple wives is legal in Nigeria and it is a prominent feature of traditional life. According to the tradition, a Bel can have as much as wives he can. Baroka, the Bel of the Illusionle, has many wives. Despite that, he wants to get more wives even at the age of 62. After seeing Sidi's beautiful pictures in a glossy magazine, he desires to have her and expresses his wish to his first wife, Sadiko, to woo that young girl for him. She goes to Sidi and proposes her to marry Baroka. She tells Sidi that if Sidi, marries Baroka, she will be his last wife. She then narrates the tradition that the last wife of a Bel becomes the first wife of the next Bel. Thus, the last wife of a Bel becomes the wife of his stepson. It is not a serious matter in the African society that a woman became wife to both father and son. The first wife of the Bel becomes the head wife and holds a position of honor and power in the household. Question 9. What do you know about the traditional married life of the Bel? Answer. The Bel is the chief of the village. He is polygamous. He can have many wives at the same time. Besides wives, he may have several concubines or mistresses. The wealth of a person is measured by his number of wives. Though a Bel can have many wives, he has to treat all equally, distribute resources equally to all wives and children, and avoid discrimination among wives and children. The successor of dead Bel marries the last and favorite wife of the dead Bel as his first wife. Thus, the new Bel takes his stepmother as his first wife, and the first wife becomes the senior or head wife of the Bel and holds a position of honor and power in the household. Her place is always in the palace, not in the outhouses. First as the latest bride of a Bel, and afterwards as the head wife of the dead Bel's successor. Besides the head wife, the Bel marries many times. The latest wife is always his favorite. Whenever he marries, the Bel takes his new wife in the palace and leaves the earlier one in the outhouses. In this way, he continues to have new wife one after another till he is sexually active. A sexually inactive Bel sometimes marries a young and beautiful girl to revive his youth. Thus, the Bel leads a sensual life. Question 10. What do you know about the life of the head wife? Answer. The head wife is the senior wife of a Bel, the chief of an area. According to the tradition, the last wife of a dead Bel becomes the first wife of the next Bel. After the death of the Bel, his successor marries his last wife for the first time. Thus, the last wife of a Bel becomes first wife of her stepson. She becomes wife to both father and son. This first wife becomes his head wife or senior wife while he marries other girls one after another. She holds a position of honor and power in the household. Her place is always in the palace, not in the outhouses. First as the latest bride of a Bel, and afterwards as the head wife of the dead Bel's successor. The Bel can have many wives. The head wife is the guardian of the other wives of the Bel. She looks after them and tries her best to ensure the happiness of the Bel. When the Bel desires to marry a girl, the head wife persuades the girl to marry her husband. In The Lion and the Jewel, Sadiko is the head wife of Baroka. She was the last wife, Baroka's father, Okiki. After Okiki's death, she becomes wife to her stepson, Baroka. When Baroka expresses his wish to Sadiko to have Sidi, Sadiko, goes to Sidi and tries to convince her to marry her husband, Baroka. Thus, Sadiko plays the role of a traditional head wife. Thank you friends for watching my video.